Behind the reinforced glass of a climate-controlled tower at Yale University sits a 15th century codex that no human being has ever read. For 6 centuries, researchers have approached this text as an analytical puzzle. They treat the script as a linguistic mystery, assuming its underlying meaning will emerge once the specific encoding is identified. The most brilliant analytical minds of the modern era have dedicated years to this search. William Friedman, the legendary cryptanalyst who led the team that broke the Japanese purple cipher, made the Voynich Manuscript his lifelong obsession. The same mathematical frameworks that defeated the Nazi Enigma machine have been applied to every page of this manuscript, without identifying a single credible word. Recently, researchers escalated the attempt by feeding high-resolution multispectral scans into advanced AI models, including AlphaFold, looking for patterns invisible to the human eye. The consistent return of syntax errors and garbled output suggests that treating this as a linguistic puzzle may be an incorrect starting point. The premise of reading this document appears structurally impossible. What draws people in, what tricks the brain into seeing a language, is a statistical anomaly. The text doesn't look like gibberish, it looks like communication. This graph illustrates Zipf's law, a mathematical fingerprint found in every natural human language. When you map the Voynich distribution against this curve, they align with eerie precision. It possesses the structural shell of a language, but it lacks any underlying semantic payload. It is a system of rules that conveys absolutely no information. This has led to a recent shift in the field. New research in 2025 and 2026 suggests we should stop treating the manuscript as a carrier for a message and instead analyze it as an attentional interface, the gate scaffolding model. Under this lens, the manuscript functions as a structured visual system, a biological hack designed to trap the viewer in a continuous loop of pattern recognition. To understand how the hack works, we have to look at conditional character entropy. This measures the degree of unpredictability in a sequence of symbols. This scatterplot shows where natural languages fall. Most human communication clusters between 3.0 and 4.0 bits of information. Voynich's is an extreme outlier, dropping to approximately 2.0 bits. Mathematically, a sequence at 2.0 bits is too predictable to carry human thought. The text is too repetitive to be a language, and its words are tied too rigidly to their physical location on the page. In this system, the glyph is the atomic unit, not the word. You can shuffle the order of the words or the lines themselves without losing coherence, because there was never any grammar to begin with. This is the hallmark of a procedural generation method known as an order-to Markov process. It's an algorithm that generates the next symbol based solely on the probability of the two that came before it. By using this self-citation process, researchers can generate fake Voynich that behaves exactly like the original. Scribes in the 1400s could have easily executed this by hand to create pages of realistic-looking text. The math indicates the manuscript is algorithmic filler text, a sophisticated medieval version of lorem ipsum, intentionally stripped of meaning. We can see this algorithm in action by looking at the microscopic architecture of a single line of text. Every line begins with the gate. These are high-entropy, complex gallows glyphs that force the eye to pause. This is followed by the scaffolding. This highly repetitive, low-entropy text provides a zero-friction path, letting the eye glide smoothly. Finally, predictable line-final suffixes, called the terminals, catch the eye and drop it to the next row. This positional rigidity, where certain shapes are only allowed to exist at the beginning, middle, or end of a line, does not occur in any natural language. These aren't just words on a page. They are sequential visual pulses deliberately engineered to govern and control human eye mechanics. The 2025 Lens protocol models this as a physical scanning process, not an active reading. The eye is encouraged to follow a bootstrapheden path, alternating left to right, then right to left, in a continuous serpentine rhythm down the page. This creates a specific physiological loop, a hard mental pause at the high complexity gate, followed by a rapid, effortless sweep across the scaffolding. While the center of your vision is locked into this textual rhythm, the margins are filled with alien botanical and astrological drawings. These images are not botanical records. They are parafoveal interference. As the fovea, the center of your vision, processes the predictable text, these high-contrast, jarring images engage your peripheral vision. They force the brain to constantly remap its spatial focus while your eyes continue to sweep. It is a dual input system. Predictable text in the center stabilizes the eyes, while the jarring peripheral imagery disrupts the brain. It is an incredibly sophisticated architecture, deliberately designed to hijack the visual cortex and trap the mind in a feedback loop. This mechanism relies on perceptual fluency, the ease and satisfaction the human brain feels when it processes a continuous stream of structured input. By weaponizing Zipf's law and the appearance of syntax, the manuscript constantly offers the promise of meaning. It feels like it should make sense. But because the internal information content is so low, there is never any semantic resolution. You are scanning, but you are not learning. This specific architecture suppresses the brain's default mode network. It shuts down narrative, self-referential thought, and critical analysis. By overriding these networks, the manuscript forces the viewer into a sustained, trance-like flow state. The manuscript is not hiding a message. It was built to keep the brain infinitely suspended on the verge of understanding. Spanning 240 folios, the manuscript constitutes a single, cohesive system. We can finally move past the classical theories. This is not a failed ciphertext, nor an alien guidebook, or a lost medical text. We should reframe the hoax hypothesis as well. The fact that the text is meaningless does not imply that the document is purposeless. The Voynich Manuscript is a biofeedback mechanism, a printed computer virus for the human mind. The gate scaffolding structure is the code that executes this physiological hack. The Voynich Manuscript is a functional machine made of vellum and ink, built to endlessly execute a pattern-matching algorithm on the hardware of the mind.